That's kind of what I was thinking about. Excellent. All right. You're on now? Yeah. Now it's kind of a weird one where even though it's such a dominant position, a lot of people don't know or have a hard time finishing because it's so easy to defend, right? I mean, he's got to just stay in tight, and he's pretty safe from most things. So you got to figure out a way to open him up. Also think too, when you're in mount, there's kind of two positions in mount, right? When you're in low mount, and that's more of your controlling position. I can get my lines,
Great lines,
something, right? Or you can't really move as much. But when you're attacking, you want to be up here. But then he's got a lot more flexibility with his hips. He can start moving. He can start coming to the top, right? So you got to kind of play that game of you're starting down low and you're trying to separate something, right? You're gonna separate an arm. Okay, now I separate an arm. Now I can come up. Now I can come up here and do whatever you're gonna do. So when you're in mount, start thinking about playing the game back and forth. So if I'm here and I'm trying to separate something and he gets it back, right? And then go back down. And you get your control back and then start thinking about where you want to go. For this one, we'll just try to isolate an arm. We're gonna go to Americana. And then after that, we're gonna go to choke from Americana. You can't finish it. That's a tricky one. So for this drill, we'll stay low at first, right? We're gonna come up, try to figure out which one his elbow is in, and pin it. Or if he grab, people will do this, right? Come over this head, and now you got 2-on-1, and now you can kind of smash him out. And then as soon as you get that, climb. See where his arm ends up, and then you can come over the top. Once you catch this, drag his knuckles on the ground. So bring his elbow into you, and then drag his knuckles. That's where the finish is. Don't try to just come up here, it's gonna be tough. Pull your elbow in, and then drag the knuckles, and it'll finish it. All right, so one more time. So we'll start low, right? Pick a side, whichever one. You wanna come up underneath. Once you separate it, come high, and kind of put all your body weight like into his top shoulder. But you still wanna keep your legs still out because you don't want him to flip you over or anything. Once you get it, catch here, left arm, or whichever arm over the top. Come under, get your Kimura Americana grip, elbow in, and then drag his knuckles. Cool, questions?
So how are you feeding your arm in initially?
So let's say if people were doing this one, right? We'll come here, I'm just gonna come under his elbow.
Can you get away with doing that to get it in if they're super not?
Oh yeah,
they're right to force, right? Okay, good. Gotcha.
Yeah. So anything that comes up under, right? So like when you're here, a lot of times he's gonna try to keep his elbow in because he doesn't want you to come up. So he's gonna put his elbow on you. When he does that, you can come all the way under. Just punch through. You just gotta be careful that when you do this, he's gonna try to roll you, right? Because he's got this thing. So yeah, you gotta be careful of that, right? But that's why as soon as you come all the way through and you got it separated, you wanna kind of come to this side and you start pinning. You just don't wanna come too high, right? If I come too high, he's gonna roll through and get out of it. But you wanna come high enough where you still got this side, and once you get over the top, and then just come underneath. This part will be easy, right? Once you're here, like there's nothing he can do to stop me from coming in.
You don't even have enough time to try to muscle through either sometimes.
When it's so deep like that. When if you do that, you're opening yourself up for an arm bar.
That's how Macau got me. I'm serious. This is so heavy and I was like, I can fight it and I'm like, I can't get through it. Oh no.
Cool, ready? 1, 2, 3. A lot of times so same thing, right? We're here, we did it. All right, let's say I get here. A lot of times he'll hide his head under his arm, under this arm, right? He gets in there. You can't finish it. You come up here all day. It doesn't really, right? Whatever happens. So one of the things you can do is take the arm that's underneath, come over the top, drive this one in. It's just a punch choke. Essentially, it's a
Feels like my arm's trapped too.
Ezekiel. Essentially, it's just Ezekiel. Right?
Could you just do it flat hand on top too?
I've always hit it like just straight here, like or something like this.
You can, but
rather than under.
I mean, you can hit it in all sorts of places. You can hit it from mount, full mount, bottom. You can hit it however you want, right? The reason I like this one though is because a lot of times, like you'll get here, and people will hide it, and then you're kind of stuck, right? You're trying to bring the head. People are good. They'll just put pressure on. And you okay? So bring this elbow up, come over the top, hide this one in there, and you end up in that same position.
What if you keep the arm in? Like, I felt like earlier, like my arm was down.
You can keep it in. Yeah, you want.
No, I know. Earlier when you yanked it, it was like my arm was, it felt like my arm was trapped.
A lot of times it'll stay in.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I mean, ideally you don't want it, right? So
Because I'm going to try to go like that, and that's going to be in.
Well, if you're gonna do that, I'm just gonna come over, right?
Right. Gotcha.
But ideally, is we're here. Like I get to this position a lot, or from here, right? Let's say it's like go on your side if you're gonna turn. But a lot of times people get here, and you've got this grip. You end up in this weird position, right? I'm sure a lot of you end up here a lot of times, and they hide their head, and you go, okay, I don't know where to go. What you can do from here is flatten them back out, come over the top, in, hide that in there. And even if I got both of his arms, it doesn't really matter. So I'll hold my own thing, and it makes them really miserable. And I mean, if they're very worse, you can come all the way up. So it's a good one too. No matter where,
Yeah. Come with that.
no matter where you catch this from, and he hides his head, I would say 90% of the time. Let me have it.
That's right. That's right.
90% of the time you're gonna end up here. Rarely are you ever gonna be able to isolate the arm and come over the top and get that head in. And even if you do, like even if I'm here, people will fight tooth and nail to get their head back in. As soon as he comes in, you go, fuck. Okay, well that's fine. You just drag him up. What you wanna do is think about bringing this elbow into him, because you want his elbow high. If he stays out here, it's hard to get all the way through because I'm behind his tricep. So think about when you're here, come up into it, and it makes it really easy to shave over the face. And then that's in deep. I mean, that I can almost finish it like that if I want.
That's
Yeah, right? Right. And you already feel it. And then now you can just come in. And then
Even
finish
if I
it.
get on the phone, try it.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Because I don't need your shoulder.
Right.
It's
So
not
the
this
thing,
thing.
because it's already trapped there, it's like, could I use it? No, not at all.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's Ezekiel more than a head and arm.
Yeah.
Questions? You want to see it?
Yeah.
So we're mount, right? We catch this. He puts his head in. Right. So you're gonna pull this up, and then that way it lets you shave over. You're gonna be kind of a dick about it really when you're going, because you don't want to shave over it. You want to be really tight, and then just grab anywhere you can in here.
It doesn't, you're just going.
Yeah. I mean,
Could you
ideally,
grab?
Ideally, obviously, you want to be all the way in.
Right.
But you don't really need to, as long as you
Could you get away with reaching over and grabbing the back if, like, say?
like his arm.
Yeah. No, your own. Like if you can't get in.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
And then just punch choke through.
Right. Okay.
But obviously, once you're
Better.
here,
Yeah.
yeah, once you're here, just try to come in tight. And finish it from there. Questions? Concerns? Good. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. One more attack from now. This is one I like to do. A lot of people think it's a triangle, so they defend it like a triangle, and it gives you a chance to throw this in. Bratopalata. There's also a Plata, which is the opposite way. I actually like to do this one more from full guard, but for the sake of doing mountain stuff, I'm doing it from mount. It works both ways, the exact same motion. So when he does his thing, right, he's staying safe. What you want to do is find the bottom hand. So like think about, it really doesn't really matter, you can do either hand. I like to find the bottom one and then go below his other hand. That makes sense, right? So you're going to pin it down. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to bring this in. So the other hand's got to come in. And then you can either grab this hand, whatever. You just need it in here. You don't need to grab anything, you just need it in here. Keep this pin. This is going to come over, and you're going to catch your own thigh. And then just so. And then shoulder lock. Be real slow with this one. Don't just fly off and sit on the side, because it's bad if you get it in deep. Right? So he's got his thing, right? You got to figure out which one it is. Boom. Come under here and just leave this here. You can hold on to him. You can do it whatever you want. You just need it enough to be able to grab your own thigh. I like to even put a lot of pressure here and then just come over the top and catch this here.
You've done this.
Stand up and then just shift off.
What if they don't cross the? You just pick an arm and make it happen. Then, like if they're just playing.
It's
Not
gonna be
crossed.
it's gonna be hard because you need this under. You need this.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can catch this here, you can still do it.
Okay.
But generally, it's gonna happen because they're crossing and
Right.
they have this little.
That little pocket.
Because I need to trap his hand and over the leg. Right? If he pulls his hand out, if it gets on the outside of the calf, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's done. Yeah, let me do it from full guard real quick. So thing about two, it's the same way, right? So from here, I can catch this, I can shove this in, and come all the way over the top, and you're catching your thigh, right? It's the same thing.
You just push off the.
Yeah, push off the hip. So from now, we're gonna do the same thing. So catch it, under, leg over, catch your own thigh. Cool. You wanna see it?
I think you're good.
You good? All right, one time. One time.
Just because you were.
He pointed at me, so now
I
I
don't
gotta
know.
do it.
I don't know. He was looking at me. We made eye contact.
I want him to do it. Right, so Max, I like to catch it under their other arm.
Okay.
You can do the one, but it's better if you can catch it under and then here.
Because they can probably shed if you're on top. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's easier to-
Yeah, I mean, you can still do the other one. A lot of times people will go, this idiot doesn't know how to do a triangle, he's got my wrong arm. And you can do the same thing, right? Because you can catch it here, and you can come over the top. You can do either side. I like to do the
Do
bottom
you
one.
spin this way on that time?
Yeah, whichever one.
Okay.
Right. But whichever one you can get underneath. And that is kind of a good way to do it, is pretend you're gonna do a triangle and then go, like I said, he doesn't know how to do a triangle, so you do the bottom one. You can still come over the top. And actually, sometimes this is good because you can pin both arms. Because think about it, if I got here, he can't
Right.
use this arm to block as my leg comes over. Catch. I kind of catch my knee on this one because it's a weird angle. But ideally, right, you want to be on your thigh. So, like I said, be really slow when you're here, and if you want, you'll see it's really tight. Yeah, just be careful with the bar. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Once you're here, right, and don't worry about coming all the way, just catch wherever you want, but come up, and you're not just trying to sit down, right? You see there's nothing there. What you want to do is think about bending and then turning. Get your hips up and turn all the way through. If you're just sitting down, nothing's going to really happen. Right? So once you catch it, I mean, honestly, the more deep you can, come up, pull your elbow up as high as you can, and then just turn into it. Eventually it'll tap. Cool? Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're done after this, but I see a lot of what y'all are doing here is when you're here, you're coming in here and you're keeping your foot in, like you're trying to curl it in, extend it. And when you catch, pull up and extend. I mean, I don't even have to really move and it's already a that's a barely turn. So if you're here or you're leaving this in here, like he's got a lot of movement, right? He can hold that. If I come here, he can do stuff. So as soon as you extend it, it's already over. I mean, just that little bit of movement of extending it makes a world of difference. So whenever you're doing this, whether bottom or top, think about extending your foot through and then pulling up on here. And then it shouldn't take more than just a little bit of time. Yeah, if you're having to come all the way off, or you're turning, or you're like sitting on the ground or something, or you're way up front, you messed up. You said, come back, right? Extend your leg, put it up, and then it should be just a quick little turn. It's a tight arm, shoulder arm. Cool? All right, let's get a picture.